Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Detours Ahead 494 Project Update webinar. Tim, can you advance the slide, please?
Mhm.
And a recording of this webinar and the slides will be emailed to all attendees within 10 days. And we will take questions at the end of each presentation. And to submit your questions, please use the Q&A feature on Zoom. And if you're viewing this after we've been live, you can email questions to Kate Meredith. And if you would please refrain from using the chat option to submit your questions today. Commuter Services is the outreach program of the 494 Corridor Commission. And the Corridor Commission was started in 1986 to address concerns about increasing traffic congestion along the 494 corridor. And our member cities include Bloomington, Eden Prairie, Edina, Minnetonka, and Richfield. And we think these are pretty amazing facts, so we wanted to share them with you. There are more jobs in this section of the 494 corridor than anywhere else in the state of Minnesota, including both of the downtowns combined. And according to MnDOT, people from 85 out of the state's 87 counties travel this section of 494 every day. So I'll just introduce both of our presenters and then we'll turn it over to Tim. So Tim Klein is one of MnDOT's construction managers overseeing all of the grading and paving on the 494 design build project. Tim is a graduate of the University of Minnesota with both a bachelor's and master's degree in civil engineering. And he's been with MnDOT since 2005, working in various offices. And his counterpart, Tara Renberg, works on the 494 Airport to Highway 169 project. She manages the project's bridge and wall structure elements. And after Tim, my coworker, Michelle Leonard, will speak. She is our communications and outreach manager, and she oversees our residential outreach program and develops materials to educate the public on how sustainable commuting benefits greenhouse gas emission mitigation. She also serves on the Association for Commuter Transportation Midwest chapter as the communication chair, and she is a member of the Minnesota Association of Government Communicators. And now I'm going to turn it over to Tim for his section of the presentation, and then we'll take questions. If you'll submit your questions through the Q&A feature, we'll get to those at the end of Tim's presentation. Take it away, Tim.
All right, thank you very much. Thanks everyone for being here and tuning in. This is a pretty exciting project that I've had the privilege to work on, so I'm going to share kind of where we've been, how we got to this point, and some work moving forward. So just jumping right in, this project has been under development for a long time. As Kate mentioned at the beginning, we have a lot of partners who have been interested and vocal, come to the table, local and state and federal government agencies, as well as several community organizations like the 494 Corridor Commission and the 35W Solutions Alliance and others that you can see on the screen there. And over the course of several years, after a lot of study, we've put together what's called the 494 Airport to 169 full vision. So the ultimate vision, what we would like the corridor to look like, is basically to reconstruct or add an additional easy pass lane all the way from 169 to the MSP airport. That's about a 6-mile stretch, maybe a little more than that, 6 or 8 miles from 169 all the way to the airport. The 35W interchange at 494 is one of the busiest, if not the busiest interchange in the entire state. Sees a lot of freight and commuter traffic, and it needs some improvements to help traffic flow better. And then access consolidation between 35W and 77. There are on ramps and off ramps at Nicollet, Portland, and 12th Avenue. And the idea is to consolidate all of those to a full access interchange at Portland. So you can see that's a very large project. It's big. We can't uh, do the whole thing in just one single project, so we're breaking it up into smaller chunks. The current project is by far the largest chunk of that full vision that we're going to do, but we're calling that I'm calling it the 494 design build. That's just the contracting method that we use to build the project. So the scope and the schedule, what we're planning on doing, we started the project last year already in the spring of 2023. From then through this year, through the fall of next year in 2025, the goal is to build the Easy Pass lane and with full reconstruction from just west of Highway 100 to the 35W interchange. So that's basically a 3-year process to rebuild the main line there. Also, in that same time frame is to reconstruct the interchange at 35W and 494, and this area right here. And also this year in 2024, we are building a pedestrian bridge at Chicago Avenue that crosses 494 and allows access for the communities on both sides of the interstate. Next year, also in 2025, while the mainline paving work is still going on, there's a bridge at Portland Avenue that will be replaced. And then in 2026, we'll finish up with bridges at Nicollet Avenue and 12th Avenue. Um, all of that work that's a big undertaking, and it came in at a nice little price tag of about $400 million. So that is the project that is currently underway. Major benefit again of this project in particular, and really of the full vision, is kind of twofold. At the top is improve safety and improve traffic flow or reduce congestion. There are a lot of ramps merging and traffic merging on and off of the freeway. So if we can consolidate or reconfigure the interchange geometry in some places, that will really help traffic flow a lot smoother, which in turn improves safety. Also, our interstate system is about 60 years old. It was built in the late 50s, early 60s, and roads and bridges just get tired and need some rework to get a smooth road surface again, um, as well as improved drainage. So the drainage structure um, and the drainage system is also, it's been improved over time, but we still get insignificant rain events. We can have flooding on I-494, which is generally not a good thing. We don't like to close the interstate when it floods. So we're going to improve that. And there is also, especially on the east side, east of 35W, but you know, west side as well, there's a lot of improved bike and pedestrian facilities to improve accessibility. One of the centerpieces of the project is the turbine ramp at 35W. So right now, or pre-project, you would have the entrance loop to northbound 35W, as well as the exit loop to go westbound 494. And there's also the entrance ramp from 82nd Street. That's a lot of traffic, all kind of jockeying for the same position. And there's a lot of merging and congestion that happens. We are eliminating this loop ramp here and instead building what's called a turbine ramp. Call it a flyover. It's basically a little more circular shape. So northbound traffic, if you want to go westbound on 494, this is the heaviest movement of that whole interchange. So we're building a separate ramp. It's going to go underneath 494 through here and then climbs up and over this new bridge that we finished earlier this spring. Comes around and then eventually merges on to westbound 494. So that's one of the highlights of this project that's underway. So I'll start with some fun facts. I'm a numbers guy. I'm an engineer. I like numbers. So just kind of the project by numbers. If you've driven through the project, there is a lot of dirt to move. There's almost 1 million cubic yards of dirt that need to be scooped up, put into trucks, and hauled off the project and disposed of elsewhere. We are installing over 16 miles of storm sewer pipe throughout the project. So um, there's a lot of work to do to alleviate the flooding issues. So a big part of that is 16 miles worth of storm sewer pipe and all the catch basins and things that go along with it. There's about 80,000 tons of asphalt paving to do on the job. Some of it's temporary just to move traffic or, widening and crossovers, things like that. Some of it is permanent asphalt paving. That's about the weight of 16,000 elephants or so. Just a fun way to think about how much asphalt is coming on the job. And similarly, we have about 300,000 square yards of concrete paving on the job, basically all of Interstate 494. The new pavement will all be concrete. That's the equivalent of paving 50 football fields, NFL football fields, covering 50 of those with concrete paving. It's a lot of concrete work coming on the job. My coworker Tara is enjoying the 14 bridges that we will construct on the job. There's about 40 retaining walls and 6 noise walls, kind of all throughout the project. So awful lot of work to do, large numbers and quantities of pieces, things that we're building. So now I'll transition into just kind of showing you a view from above, or we have drone photography that we take on the project about once a week or so. We actually took new drone footage yesterday. I didn't get yesterday's photos in here, but these pictures are all from last week. So pretty fresh and generally starting way on the west end, and I'll work my way east as we go here. So first picture starting west of Highway 100, can see last year we reconstructed and paved. This is eastbound, kind of coming into the bottom of the screen here. So that's complete. And we just recently paved westbound 494 between 100 and this is East Bush Lake Road up here. Crews are currently finishing up grading in the median here. We have all the traffic pushed to the outside, so we're cleaning things up to get that ready to pave in the next month or so. Concrete median barrier will go in, drainage, overhead sign structures, things like that. And but that work is progressing and should be on track to be done here later this fall. Turning the other way from Highway 100, now looking east. So going, the top of the screen is east, west is at the bottom here. This year we are reconstructing pretty much all of 494 eastbound from Highway 100 to 35W. So this is American Boulevard, local road here that runs, well, the whole length of the job, but specifically between 100 and France, has been closed for a good majority of the season. We recently opened that up a couple of weeks ago to two-way traffic. We still have drainage work that we're completing on 494 and getting the grade ready to do some paving here either later this month or into early October. So that work is still ongoing, and we had about 3,000 feet of the retaining wall here that we had to take out in order to widen the road to add the easy pass lane there. Similar shot from the southeast corner of Highway 100, looking again at American Boulevard here and where it intersects with Normandale Service Road, the frontage road. In the past, the this Normandale service road was the through movement. Now we've converted that, reconfigured the intersection so that American Boulevard is the through movement. If you want to take the frontage road, you'll have to turn onto this. We have the northbound Highway 100 to eastbound 494 ramp closed right now while we reconstruct that. Doing grading, drainage work is just about there. We're getting ready to build this barrier system that's like a retaining wall to replace the retaining wall that we put out um, or that we took out earlier this year. There have been a lot of local businesses along American Boulevard, Cyrus Rugs in particular, but there's a Mercedes dealer, several other car dealers, an Olive Garden, and apartment buildings as well that have certainly been inconvenienced by the road work, but we got traffic open again to try and restore business access for those folks. Just moving a little bit farther west, this corner here down at the bottom right of the screen is American Boulevard where it turns up to France. This is the eastbound exit to France Avenue. So that's under construction right now. We're just about ready to start building a retaining wall here. You can see some pipe laying on the ground that's getting ready to be installed. And then this area here, you may have seen the large piles of sand and rock here and this plant. All of the concrete pavement that we are paving on this job is being produced at that plant right on site. So that certainly helps with truck times and access to get that concrete material, the mixture, to the job site quickly. We're also, this used to be a mound in the middle of the on loop here, and we dug it down. It will now be a stormwater pond. So that work is in progress. The pond is just about ready. We're getting ready to start putting the road back together. Drainage is just about in, so we're putting sand and then gravel and getting ready to pave this stretch in the next couple of weeks. Continuing east, now this is Xerxes Avenue and looking east. So you can see new concrete pavement that we were able to pave approaching Penn Avenue here. We've had Southtown Drive. This is 79th Street, which has been closed for several months here. Well, we built this large retaining wall to hold up 79th Street. And there's another drainage stormwater pond that's going in front here. This work is just about ready to open up. Curb and gutter is on. Asphalt paving is coming hopefully later this week yet, and we look to put everything back together. There's a new pedestrian trail that's going along the south side of 79th Street, so we're looking to get all that put together and open back up for the, again, local businesses in the next couple of weeks. Further east, looking at Penn Avenue now, continuing to look east. You can see there's another retaining wall that we built here on the south side of this exit ramp to Penn. We are just about to kick off some significant work underneath the Penn Avenue Bridge. We've had a long history of groundwater problems, which has caused pavement failures and things. So there's a pretty robust solution there, but we're basically building a land bridge to carry 494 traffic underneath Penn Avenue. So that work will be kicking off even later today or maybe tomorrow. We also just yesterday set up traffic control to do some rehab work on the Penn Avenue Bridge itself. It's a The bridge is only about 20 years old. It was built in the early 2000s, but needs some small concrete patches on the deck, and the sidewalks on either side will be redone as part of the project here. So that work is ongoing. Just a little bit farther east, the on-ramp to eastbound 494 has been closed for most of the season here. Um, we have fenced off here a deep drainage structure. Like I said, there's a lot of drainage, deep groundwater. We have a pump house or a lift station here that takes care of a lot of stormwater. So there are more work that we need to get the groundwater. We're installing wells to draw down the groundwater so that we can build the drainage structures and the pipes that go through here. We're also just about ready to set beams on this bridge. This is a bridge that carries the traffic from the ramp from the Penn Avenue onto 494. Um, and then traffic exiting eastbound 494 to southbound 35W will go underneath this bridge here, kind of go down what used to be the frontage road, Southtown Drive here, and then pick up with the ramp down to 35W south. So that work is, there's a lot of activity in this kind of small restrained space here. Similar picture of the same area, just flipped around looking the other way. So here's Penn Avenue. Here's the bridge that I was talking about, and we have retaining walls coming off of the bridge. You can see this is kind of the end of the turbine ramp that I'll show in the next couple of slides. But we have a staging area, just places to lay down all the equipment and materials that we're going to use on the project. Okay, then at the 35W interchange itself, so this drone is sitting south of 494 looking north. We've had the two eastbound loops closed for the better part of the season. Those are starting to get put back together. This is a new bridge carrying 494 across 35W. We built the abutments on either side, built the pier earlier this year. We closed 35W overnight for a couple of nights to set beams across. And now we are just about ready to pour concrete on the bridge deck itself tomorrow night, Wednesday night. Similar picture now. This is just east of the interchange looking west. Here's that same bridge. This is a second bridge, again carrying eastbound 494 across what will be the turbine ramp. I think my next slide shows that even better, but we actually set beams on this bridge last night. We're going to start decking that and pour the concrete deck in the next couple of weeks. And then the next slide, I think this is the best picture kind of showing the overall interchange. Now this is from the north side of 494 looking south. This is, call it the turbine bridge. So like I mentioned, traffic coming northbound. Now northbound 35W is coming down to the bottom of the screen. Instead of taking this loop here that used to be here, right now we have this temporary S ramp where you can get up onto the bridge and then merge onto 494 over on the west side of the interchange. Eventually traffic will exit 35W back here. It will go underneath 494 at this bridge right here that I showed in the last slide, and then start to climb up and over and take this bridge across. Again, that eliminates all of the weaving between these two ramps here and gets traffic to flow a lot more smoothly and then a lot safer in the meantime. This is an interesting part of the project that we didn't necessarily anticipate, but there is a K to 8 school in the northeast quadrant of 35W and 494, Seven Hills Prep Academy. You can still see here, this is where the old ramp from westbound 494 to northbound 35W used to be. We moved it over about 30 feet to the north and east here and moved it that much closer. This is a playground that the elementary kids like to play on. They play in the parking lot right here. This is their school gymnasium and classrooms along here. Moving, having ramp traffic this close to kids playing on the playground and learning in the classroom was made some people nervous. So we managed to construct basically a retaining wall along here, or a concrete barrier that will keep any wayward traffic from entering the school facilities here and and causing some damage. That's nothing anybody wants to think about, so we added this in and we're able to provide a good solution to keep the school kids safe. So that work has just completed in the last couple of weeks. Okay, continuing to move east from 35W. We've been working on this retaining wall on the south side, better part of this season. This frontage road here used to be Clover Drive, so we closed that early this spring to build the retaining wall. We'll still be widening 494 by a lane. So the retaining wall is holding up 494, and then we're in the process of digging out. This is another stormwater pond that's going to hold stormwater at the end of the project. So that is underway and just about complete. And then towards the east end, we haven't done much on the east end of the project last year and this year, but starting to a little bit. This is Walmart on the south side and several apartment complexes on the north side. And there's other businesses over here too. A lot of people like to access or want to go across 494. So we are in the process of building a bridge for pedestrians. Here on the south side, we've put up the abutment. We're working on the abutment on the north side. In another month or so, we're going to put the truss that carries the pedestrian traffic. We'll put that up and then start to work on retaining walls, which kind of carry the ramp back to the intersection at Chicago Avenue here. So that's been a pretty major undertaking, just again to realign 78th Street. It's called East 78th Street, both on the south side and on the north side of 494. But some of this is removed completely because the ped bridge and then the exit ramp, a new exit ramp to Portland Avenue and new entrance ramp to Portland are coming on. We've had drainage work, utilities with water main and sanitary sewer and things like that. So a lot of work here just to improve pedestrian facilities on the east side of the project. Okay, so that's kind of an overview of just all of the work that's been done and is being done to date. Um, if you're tuning in here, you're probably aware of the traffic impacts that we've had. And obviously you can't build such a large project like this without impacting traffic in some ways, but we do the best we can to try and maintain access for people and have people be able to get where they're going. So over the course of this construction season, we've been working on 494 all the way from East Bush Lake Road over to 12th Avenue about. Um, all of the blue ramps here are ramps that either are currently closed or have been closed or will close at some time or another during this season. It's pretty much all of the ramps eastbound between Highway 100 and Lindale Avenue, and then a good number of the westbound ramps as well. A couple of frontage roads that have permanently closed. Clover Drive, 78th Street, portions of it, um, and Southtown Drive, kind of right at Penn Avenue here. So um, we understand a lot of traffic impacts. We've had frequent lane and ramp closures overnight throughout all the season. Um, Construction work is inherently noisy. Now we do the majority of the work during the day when the construction noise just kind of blends in with the regular ambient traffic noise. Um, some of the noisy work we try as best we can to do, jackhammering, saw cutting, pile driving for bridges. We try our best to do that during the day. There's a few times where we've had to do that work overnight, but we try to limit the noisy work to daytime hours. And we, we're getting close. It's kind of scary. October starts is next month, and by mid-November, we plan to wrap up everything that you just saw that was wide open there is going to be wrapped up and paved, and traffic kind of put into its winter configuration by mid-November. Along with that, we've had a couple of full closures of both 35W and 494. 35W was closed last Friday night. We closed northbound 35 for mill and overlay of the bituminous pavement there north of 494. It was just old and beat up, so just to make traffic flow a little more smoothly, we did that work. To set the beams on the bridge carrying 494 across 35W. That happened a couple of weeks ago. And again, tomorrow night, we are closing both directions of 35W at 494 to pour the concrete bridge deck. In October, we have a couple of weekend closures coming up to do a variety of activities, but some drainage work, some temporary and permanent paving work, and to set that pedestrian bridge truss to put that up and get it up on the abutments there. So October 11th to 14th is the first weekend that is set to close both directions of 494 between Highway 100 and 35W. And then we're skipping MEA weekend, no closures, no full closures over MEA weekend. But then the last weekend of October, we'll close both directions again. Eastbound 494 will be closed from Highway 100 all the way over to 77. And westbound 494 will be closed from 77 to 35W. Again, just to do a variety of work that needs to be done for the project. So we'll have detours and notices posted. Generally, the detour is to run up Highway 100 to 62 to 77 and back down. Okay, so once we get through the end of this season, there's a lot of work yet to do at the end of this season, but we'll get through that. Work that's coming up in the next 2 years yet. Basically, everything that you see going on eastbound 494 this year is a mirror image of that same work going westbound. So we will reconstruct westbound 494 from Lindale to Highway 100. By the end of this season, we should be done with all of the work west of Highway 100. So we shouldn't be having to get into that interchange anymore next year. We will also, by the end of next year, we'll have the interchanges at 35W and also at 82nd Street. That work will be complete. All of the bridges built and all of the traffic moved where it needs to be. And then also next year, we will reconstruct the Portland Avenue Bridge across 494 and have that full access interchange with all 4 on and off ramps complete by the end of next year. Then in 2026, we'll have the Nicollet Avenue Bridge and the 12th Avenue bridges that cross 494. Those will be reconstructed, and we will do all the electronic work to turn on and complete the Easy Pass system. Okay, just a little more highlights of traffic impacts next year. We'll again have some more full weekend closures of both 35W and 494 to remove and then to replace the westbound 494 bridge over 35W, to remove and then replace the Portland Avenue Bridge over 494. So we'll have a few weekend closures coming again that will be coordinated and advertised throughout the area. We anticipate having Portland Avenue closed the entire season between American Boulevard and 77th Street. There are a lot of local businesses there, so we will always maintain access to and from those local businesses. It might be a little bit different from where they're getting in now, but we'll maintain access to the local businesses. And I'll also mention that before we close Portland Avenue, the Chicago Avenue Ped Bridge will be open and people will be able to make that movement across 494. There's some longer ramp closures you can see at 35W, and we're still going to maintain 3 lanes of traffic in each direction, but sometimes one direction might be in a shoot lane on the other side of the highway. Excuse me. So I just have a couple slides at the end here. You know, our project is, I'm mainly talking about the design build job from Highway 100 to 77, but MnDOT is also repairing the bridge across the Minnesota River, just east of the airport and just east of this project. So again, from 24th Avenue, right in front of the Mall of America here and the airport on the north side, and it goes, you know, past the airport across the Minnesota River here to Pilot Knob Road on the east side. Again, it's mainly a bridge and pavement repair project. Again, the bridge is getting worn out, has some needs that need to be rehabbed. And again, with improved safety and accessibility for pedestrians at some of the intersections and interchanges, and some drainage work along with the other work. So again, similar work that you've seen this year on the project. We do the same thing next year, just flipped around on the other side. So again, there will be lane and ramp closures throughout the project area. This year, crews have been working on the westbound bridge over the river, so all traffic is reduced to 2 lanes in both directions on the eastbound side. Next year, we'll flip traffic, put 2 lanes in each direction on the westbound bridge that will be newly repaired, while crews work on fixing the eastbound bridge. A few significant ramps will be closed for the better part of the season. So westbound Highway 5 to eastbound 494, and the 34th Avenue entrance ramp to eastbound 394. Those will be closed for a majority of the season just to safely do the work. And the eastbound bridge also carries a regional trail across the river that trail will be closed from May to November to complete the work. Yeah. Um, so I covered a lot of information in there. I know in a short amount of time. We do have a public information hotline, both an email address and a phone number that you can call and ask questions about either of the projects. We have a consultant on board that's helping us with communication on both of these 494 projects. And we have websites that you may be used to seeing. This first one is the main project that I went through. This third one here is the River Bridge project. Those both have links in the bottom right side of the page where you can click to enter your email and get emailed project updates on traffic impacts. If you're interested in the overall vision and kind of the background and the ultimate vision of what 494 will look like, this link here is for, I call it the study, or kind of the full vision. And then of course for up to the minute ramp and lane closure information, we have our MnDOT 511 system that I'd encourage people to look at often. So I will stop there, take a breath, and entertain any questions that you might have.
Thanks, Tim. Great job. A lot of information, and the pictures are so helpful. So we really appreciate all of the drone shots that you were able to include.
They're fun.
Impressive.
Thanks.
Well, good news.
Yeah.
We're doing great on time. And for
Mm,
our audience, um, now is a good time for you to type in your question into the Q&A. So far, we've only received 2 questions. And I'll start with the
I'm gonna,
first.
sure.
Is the eastbound exit to Penn Avenue going away?
No, no. We will, at the end of the project, all 4 of the ramps that were at Penn Avenue, those will reopen. The eastbound exit to Penn will open kind of unchanged from where it is today. The geometry changed a little bit. What does change is the interaction between ramps at Penn and 35W. So when the entrance ramp from Penn Avenue to eastbound 494 opens up, you will not be able to get onto 494 and then immediately go south on 35W. The movement to northbound 35W, you'll be able to make that move, but not the other one.
Very good.
Yeah.
And our second question is, where is all of the dirt and other dugout stuff being taken?
Good question. Um, there's a lot of the dirt, crews do their best to just hide it or bury it on site. And, there's some places that the crews can put it on site, but an awful lot of it just gets hauled away to so CS McCrossan is the prime contractor on this job, and they're doing a majority of the dirt work. They're a local family-owned contractor who does a lot of work for MnDOT. They do good work. They have a large pit in Maple Grove, so they haul a lot of their material up there. They haul to other projects that they're working on. They may sell it to other contractors who need dirt for various needs on their projects. Some of it, some of the material is contaminated, so some of it gets hauled to a landfill and dumped. So it goes a lot of different places.
Very good. So we've gotten a couple more questions. The
Mhm.
next one is, what is the timing on the large pile of rubble at 494 Loops in Eden Prairie?
Eden Prairie, I believe that's talking about the 212 loop, if I can guess. And yes, that has, I know that MnDOT and crews have been using that area for a long time and several different projects. That pile will be there through the duration of this project, so through the fall of 2026. But then the plan is to abandon that site and restore it and kind of remove the eyesore that I understand it's not the prettiest thing to look at when you're driving by. So a couple more years, but fall of 2026, it should be cleaned up.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Mhm,
We had another question. If there's issue with impacts to a business within the
mhm,
project, who should
mhm.
be contacted?
I would say the best thing would be to start with the hotline. Let's see, right there. The first email or phone number there, info at I-494construction.com. And they will um, quite likely that will come to me eventually, or it will get to the various people who need to see and respond to those questions.
Okay, perfect.
Mhm,
And to our audience, this was the last question that has come in so far, but we have a
mhm.
very short presentation on sustainable commuting and sustainable transportation. We've got just a couple slides that we want to go through and offer you free resources to help ease your driving through the construction project. So I'm going to turn it over to my colleague, Michelle. And if any other questions have come in, if we have time at the end, we'll answer additional construction related questions. So
Sure.
let's have you take it away, Michelle.
Thank you, Melissa. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Michelle Leonard. And if this picture reminds you of any part of your commute or your drive the last few months, commuter services, we have some things that can kind of help with easing your woes. Commuter services has a number of strategies and resources that are available for employers. We have They can do a commuter fair where we'll come and we'll set up similar to the top picture. And we also do lunch and learns, which are more of a sit down kind of conversation. We have had Tim come and join us and do presentations for those in the past. We also can either write articles for your company newsletters about sustainable transportation options, or you can sign up for our employer newsletter or our commuter newsletter. The employer newsletters go out quarterly and the commuter newsletters are monthly. And finally, we also can provide your organization with a display of commute materials similar to what you're seeing on the bottom. Next slide, please. Now, bike commuting is probably one of the more popular sustainable transportation modes that is out there. Commuter Services is happy to work with employers to provide bike commuting resources, bike trail updates. We also can help you get a free bike rack for your organization. And we have a bus bike rack, similar to the racks that are affixed at the front of all buses. We can bring that to your organization and your employees can take a chance to, they have an opportunity to try placing their bikes on the front of front of the rack in a no stress situation. Next slide, please. Now, similar to the offerings that we have for employers, we also have a number of bike commuting resources for commuters. We have webinars on how to get started, and bicyclists can also request like a Hennepin County bike map. They can get clothing recommendations, bike commuting tips, and more information. Next slide, please. For transit, well, we have a number of transit programs that are available for employers, commuters, and residents. First of all, I'll talk about MetroPass. It's a deeply discounted pass program that is available to riders at the cost of $83 per month. That $83 is taken pre-tax from the employee's monthly salary, and employers need just one transit rider to enroll in this program. And employers do have the option to subsidize any or all of the program if they would wish to offer it as an additional employee benefit. Next slide, please. Now for commuters, one of the things that we do is we work with Metro Transit to offer free customized transit itinerary, and that will give folks a couple of options for transit routes, and also they will receive 2 free passes to try it. Another pass program that we're very happy about is the Transit Assistance Pass. And that is a $1 ride for individuals who are on low or fixed incomes. Now, this program is available in multiple languages, or information is available on this program in multiple languages. And it is not specific to the commute. This program is open to anyone who wants to be able to sign up for it. They do have to meet an income criteria, and proof of eligibility is required. Next slide, please. Another one of our pass programs that we have is the Residential Transit Pass. Now, this program is offered to property managers and owners of multifamily housing. This program puts an unlimited transit pass in every unit of a multifamily complex at the cost of $14 per month per unit. And for more information on that program, you can reach out to me. My email address is in the pack here. Next slide. We are really happy to work with employers and commuters to set up carpools and van pools. One of the fun things that we like to do is we can get together and we can help your organization set up maps so employees can see how many people live near them, and they can, see if there's folks that they can ride with. Let's jump to the next slide, please. And then for commuters, we have tips on how to get started with carpooling, how to have a successful carpool. We do have, in addition to the mapping that we can do with your employer, there is a regional carpool matching program that we can help you through. And the bonus, as Tim had mentioned, the HOV lanes before, I might want to add, one of the bonuses is 2 or more people can ride through those Easy Pass and HOV lanes for free. Next slide, please. And then we get to van pools. Now, van pools offer pretty much the same benefit as carpools, but they're able to accommodate more people, and they're ideal for people who live a little bit further out from their workspace. Commuter Services works with the employers to set up the van pool programs. And one of the key aspects to MetroPass is that the Metropolitan Council provides a 50% subsidy on each van pool. Let's go to the next slide, please. As I mentioned, they're particularly good for folks who live a little further out. You need just 4 people to start a van pool, and there is that subsidy in play. So another thing to note is that there is flexibility with MetroPass, with the Metro Van Pool, in that you only need a 30-day notice to leave or terminate the van pool. Next slide, please. So then we get to a Twin Cities telework. Now at Commuter Services, we like to say that the best commute is no commute. So Twin Cities telework is a it's a service that we have set up to help the folks who are working from home. Let's go to the next slide. Now, Twin Cities telework, we have an array of resources for employers, managers, and teleworkers or hybrid workers. Some of these resources are like sample telework and hybrid policies and agreements. We have templates for those. We have a lot of mental health resources and ergonomic home office recommendations, our quarterly telework newsletter, and so much more. Let's go to the next slide. One of those more, of course, is our Twin Cities telework webinar series. And we've had a number of webinars that we've done over the years. And our next one is actually coming up in a month. That will be how to succeed at hybrid. Now, this is going to be a good refresher and kind of a guide for folks who are working at home 1 or more days per week in a hybrid situation. So you can use that QR code down in the corner to find out more about that. And we hope to see you on Friday, October 25th. Next slide. And then there's just a couple extra things that we have with commuter services. One of the programs that actually is a regional program is called Guaranteed Ride Home. Now, Guaranteed Ride Home is like a safety net for commuters who take a sustainable trip 3 or more days per week. It is paid for through the Metropolitan Council, and it provides a free ride home for the commuter. Registered participants get up to $100 annually, but the trick is that you do need to register in advance to be part of Guaranteed Ride Home. And then finally, I think I've already mentioned, but we do have 3 different newsletters to just keep people abreast of things that are going on. And in the commuter newsletter and our employer newsletter, we do give updates on our road construction and on some of the transit construction projects that are happening in our area. So the commuter newsletter goes out monthly, and our employer newsletter is quarterly, as is the Twin Cities Telework newsletter. And with that, I thank you for your time.
Thanks, Michelle. So to our audience, you can type in a question that will address, you can type that into the Q&A feature. And Tim, before we go, could we ask you one last question that came in?
Certainly.
It is, can you address timing and location of construction of noise walls?
Yep, good question. So I mentioned the noise walls there's 6 of them. They are all along the westbound direction. So they're all on the north side of 494. And I'm going to try to think of where these go. So one of them is the northwest corner of Penn Avenue in 494. So along the entrance ramp there, and there's a neighborhood of houses. So that one will be constructed next year in 2025, I imagine, when all of the other road work will be done there. And then the other 5 noise walls are kind of all on the east end of the project, east of Nicollet Avenue. Several of apartments and residences are on the north side there. So I don't off the top of my head, I don't remember exactly where they are, if there's gaps, but a large majority of the way between Nicollet Avenue and even east of 12th Avenue. I know the last one kind of curves around the frontage road there, east of 12th Avenue. Some of those will start to be constructed this winter. So the area around the Chicago Ped Bridge, they're between Portland and 12th. Those noise walls will start construction over this winter, and they'll continue into next year and probably into 2026, just whenever the road work is happening in that general area. Good question.
Okay, very good. Well, thank you to Tim and Michelle for your presentations, and we want to especially thank our audience for attending, and we will send you a copy of the recording as well as the entire slide deck in about 10 days from now. So if you have questions in the meantime, you can address them to the various links that Tim gave earlier in the presentation, or you could email commuter services. And we want to wish you a wonderful rest of your day. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good day.